somebody wants to become a creator, what's the roadmap like?
The first thing you need to be intentional about is knowing how am I going to add value. In very simple words, value ultimately is anything people want to see, people need to hear, people want or need that they cannot do for themselves. At the end of the day, offer people value, make sure that it's very clear, make sure that they're able to very clearly pinpoint. Like, it shouldn't be hard to establish the connection between what you have to say and how it affects them. It should not be far, because people come on social media not because of you, they come for themselves. The rule I have is if it can be shorter, make it shorter. If I watch your 5-minute video, at the end of it, I want to feel like, you got 5 years, this had to be 5 minutes in order for it to make sense like this. I can't run out of content ideas, except problem finish, but problem really finish. So as long as problems continue to exist, there's always something to talk about, there's always someone that needs, to hear something. So you said I like to have sense in the videos. So for me, it's not like, in this video, I need to make sense. It's just, I need to communicate an idea. How do I communicate in a way that people will remember for a long time? So that the next time they're in a real life situation and they need this knowledge, they don't have to rack their brains to bring it back. No matter how small or big your audience is, there's a small percentage that's willing to part with money. As you continue to give, content for free, give value for free, the people who want more and are willing to pay, they will pay somebody else. If you don't have something for them to pay for, I don't really care about the viral videos like that. Me, I believe that the aim of posting on social media shouldn't be to go viral. Going viral is a byproduct done. And being viral is actually not always a good thing.
Hello everybody, and once again, welcome to another episode of the Entrepreneurs Connect show. As always, what we do here is interviewing African entrepreneurs who are building businesses in different sectors to learn from their journey, their successes, their failure, and everything in between. Again, today we have a very special guest in house. Is my guy, my friend, my content tutor. Everybody, welcome Salem King.
Thank you.
By the way, you made us get used to saying Salem.
Yes, that is working. That was the plan all along. You stay well.
What? So at what point did you switch from Salem to Salem?
I think I found out that was the correct pronunciation. So even though a lot of Nigerians say Salem, I generally like grammar and English, the language. I just correct enunciation of things. So when I found out my parents chose the wrong pronunciation, I changed it.
So how long did it take your parents to adjust? Have they adjusted?
No, they haven't. They're still like, who is Salem?
Very nice. Welcome on the show. Do you have any expectations?
Yeah. I mean, I've seen some episodes of the show or some clips on social media, and it's often people like say very smart things. So I came to chill. So yeah.
All right. No, don't worry. Don't have to be so serious. All right. The thing is that you just can't help it. You go shut drop.
There's that. There's something that happens with my friends sometimes when we're chilling and they're just like, oh God, say them. This don't be motivational. Start.
All right, great. Let's get right into it. Fresh stuff. I think the first thing on is like, what was life growing up for you? Like,
yeah. That's a very broad question, but to summarize, my parents were ministers, they're pastors. So I came from a very, very Christian home.
Interesting. We have the same background.
Yeah, and the good thing about the background I came from was my parents were not just like super religious Christians, but they also, they welcomed us asking questions. They wanted us to be inquisitive, especially my dad. And that's something that I deeply appreciated. And it still influences how I see the world now, because I don't like to just look at things on the surface and stop there. I always want to understand, why does this work the way it does? Why are you doing this instead of that? I still question everything. I still tend to interrogate everything I come across beyond the surface. And that's something that started from home. I'm the firstborn. I have 3 sisters. I don't know how that has affected my life now, but that's where I'm coming from. So there's no boy for you to fight with. I and my younger sister used to fight a lot. We used to fight about everything, for remote, for, it was very, very bad. I don't think we became close. We were always close, but I don't think we became, we got to the point where we stopped fighting. I think we were teenagers already when we, we now just learned to love each other only. Before, it was love mixed with a lot of chaos. Well, yeah, I grew up in Kaduna.
Oh,
Yeah, I grew up in Kaduna. We moved to Abuja much later, but I think everything that I was as a human being was already fully formed in Kaduna. So that also plays into, the kind of things that I prioritize in life. And the reason why I don't like Lagos.
we're in this together.
I grew up in a calm place. I grew up in a place where everybody was normal. I'm not saying that everybody in Lagos is not normal, but like if the shoe fit,
You know, tell me for a man in Lagos. That's it.
it's you that said, it's not me that said.
When I finally said, I can never ever do this here, I think in Lagos. In 2018, I was jumping bus, and something happened. This conductor got angry, and they all called it. I said, "Conductor, oh wow, drop me." Yeah. The guy looked at me. I said, "If I talk again, that will blow my mouth." For some moments, I kept quiet, shout. When I don't blow my mouth, I kept quiet. After like a short distance around just me, I came down. I said, "This sitting, and you cause madness. I can't lose you."
It's crazy. I think my own bus experience was I was in a bus and I was like close to the door saying, oh, I want drop. But the bus was still moving. I won't come down. The guy now said, I be made the carry you come down. That's when he hit me like, oh, this guy was ready to jump. I'm just a boy, jump.
In other cities, they say, "I want to enter the bus. I'm in the bus stop." They say, "I want to jump bus." They say, "I want to jump." You didn't jump. So, what did you study in school?
Economics. I studied economics.
What are you doing right now?
I'm a content creator. I'm not other things.
What's the relationship?
So when I was going to go to uni, I was 15 years old.
Yeah.
I didn't know what I wanted to do in my life because, which 15-year-old does? And my dad was like, you should study economics. Study economics, you get a master's in finance, you become an investment banker, and they make a lot of money. So he just sold me that dream. I mean, he didn't force me. If I said I wanted to study something else, nobody would have forced me. But I was just like, okay, that's fine. I'm good at economics. I was in commercial class. The secondary school I went to had science, arts, and commercial. Mm-hmm. I was in commercial class, so my options were kind of limited. I hated accounting. I knew I couldn't study accounting. I couldn't study anything in arts because I didn't do arts subjects. Yeah. So economics just made sense. I'm like, okay, this is fine. I'll do economics. I think I was in like year 3 when I realized that was a terrible mistake.
Like indeed, like core economics.
Yeah.
I heard that economics is like math.
What it says, guys? Yeah, so it's math. So it's math, but you have to use the math to make sense of real life situations. So it's not just math for the sake of math, right? We had a course called Eco Math. It was economics. It was mathematics for economics. Mm. So there's maths that they teach everybody. Then there's maths for economics students. We also had a course Eco Stats, what is statistics, but for economics. And then in year 3, we started doing this course, econometrics, which basically is, please forgive me if I don't describe it well, I can't remember what I learned. But econometrics is basically a combination of economics, mathematics, and statistics, right?
That's something.
Yes, and you're supposed to use that to now explain or make sense of real life situations or to solve real world problems, right? So like, indoors cannot be the civilian governor. Like, you actually have to know what you're doing. I was not good at math. So I was just like, we're doing so much mathematics from year 1 to we defining.
I thought I was going to Adam Smith.
Like secondary school learning does not prepare you for what you see in uni, bruh. Like, it was a lot of math, a lot of statistics, and there was philosophy too, because like whatever you decide to study, you have to also study the philosophy of it, right? That was boring. But yeah, I managed to just graduate so that, I'll not be a failure in life. So I graduated, got out of school, but immediately I got out of school, I knew I wasn't going to do anything with that degree because I didn't learn anything. I just read to pass exams. I was not interested. And I really love to enjoy the things I study. And initially I thought I was just bad at school, but now in retrospect, I see that when I study things that I enjoy, I'm able to really get into it, and I can explain it to a 7-year-old. I can teach it. That didn't happen to me with economics, so I know that I was not the problem. is me that went to study. It was something, yes, studied the wrong course. Well, yeah, first job I got out of school was in marketing, real estate at the company. It went well. It was a great experience. I was just 21. I didn't think they would employ me. Because let me even tell you. So my CV, you know how your CV, people shouldn't do that anymore. But like that year, in my CV, hobbies was singing. So in the interview, they asked I should sing them a song. I thought they were joking. I'm like, oh no, they want me. Don't interview me this. They're like, no, sing. So I sang Amazing Grace. After I finished singing, they now clap for me. So I was so sure that these people just used me to catch crew. Like I was so sure that, there are many other serious applicants. And I was 21, I was super skinny and everything. But like some weeks later, I got a mail saying, they gave me an offer. I should come and start. I'm like, what? No way. So that was my first job. I got into that job just feeling really grateful for having the opportunity. And I learned so much on the job because I was selling high to get stuff. Yes, like it was the cheapest house we were selling. And this is 2017.
Mm-hmm.
The cheapest we were selling was 154 million. So I had to learn how to sell luxury items, how to interact with people who have a lot of money.
Did you have any successful clothes?
Yeah, I did. So most of my clothes were for people who wanted to rent, but it was most, so there's so much I learned. And at the time, I didn't realize I was preparing for anything. I was just doing my job. There was no, I knew at some point I would stop and do something else, but it was like a far in the future type thing. Yeah. But yeah, I started playing with, video and taking pictures and stuff, and just picking an interest in that little by little. So on the weekend, sometimes I'll borrow my friend's cameras and just take street photos. I didn't like taking pictures of people because I did not like people. I still don't like people. I'm working on it. But like at the time, I would just take street photographs of like trees, buildings, stuff like that. And I just started to find an interest in sharing my perspective on what everybody was seeing. But I felt like the way I see it is interesting because I'm thinking about it beyond the surface. Yeah. So let me share this. And that's basically how my journey with content creation started. Small, but let me not get that.
Did you like work another job after the real estate job?
No.
So from real estate, you transitioned to like
full time, yeah. Well, I did come back to working in 9 to 5 one time for I only lasted like 3 months. We can talk about that later. But I did. So after working in that real estate company for about 3 years, around my 3rd year, I started posting on Instagram consistently. I was getting people ask me, how do you make your videos? Do a class, stuff like that. So me, I was too scared to do a paid class. So I did a free class. Because I just thought, if I do a free class and it's rubbish, nobody will come talk to where my money. Yeah. So I did a free class so that, if it goes badly, it's just be that, okay, we wasted each other's time, fine.
Not pay me. Okay.
Yeah, but so I did that class. I just taught everything I knew. It was nothing that I learned from any course, or it was just how I have always taught since I was a teenager, and how I applied those things to content. And I just taught other people because I wanted to see, okay, if I teach people what I know, would they be able to replicate what I have?
Yeah.
Because I needed to have that before I can charge somebody money.
True.
And also I was just scared, to be honest. So I did that free class. I saw the results people had, and I'm just like, next one, 5K, and then some months later I did a class and I had like 100 people sign up in 2 days. Which that's how I made 500K. At that time, I had never had that much monch in my life.
What was the salary like?
My salary?
Let's still working this time.
Yes, I was still. My salary was 84K-ish.
I see it's not having dreams from.
Exactly. Exactly. I did the math. I just so my salary was like 84K, and then I'll get a quarterly bonus of like 100 or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was my life. And then I made 500K in 2 days from a course that I literally only promoted on my Instagram stories. So now like that, you see that I'm very intentional about my stories. It's not because that's where I make money from. Yeah, like I make more money from my story than actually. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. So like when brands reach out, for example, I tell them this is the price and they're like, just story. I'm like, my story is not busy with like results. Very hot. Forget that it's there for 24 hours. Like it's actually, people take action from there. But yeah, how did I get here?
We're talking about the 500K you made.
Yes. So that 500K was the camel that broke. How did this dog that the straw that broke? You said the ones that that was the straw that broke the camel's back for me. Because I was just like, wait, 500K. That's how many months of my? That's like 6 months of my salary at once, and I'm still this is my side hustle. So what if it was my full-time hustle? Like how would that go? So that's when I started plotting my escape. Of course, when I finally escaped, it was not as easy. The next 500K did not come as maybe it was beginner's luck, but I had to now figure out, okay, how do I build an audience? How do I make sure that if I want to do this every 3 months, there's people who are interested, and that's stuff that I had to figure out with time. But I just knew that, okay, if I'm living on 84K a month and I'm fine, if I can make 500K every quarter, I can be fine. So that's how I just said, I don't want to do this job anymore.
Did you ask anybody for advice or anything like that?
Yes, I did. And they all gave me, most people gave me advice that I didn't like. I told my parents, they're like, it's good, but wait 3 months. I listened to them. I waited 3 months. But I told them I wanted to leave in June. They said, give me months, think about it, wait till September. I waited. I shouldn't have waited. Then I talked to someone who I consider a mentor. And she really helped me. So she made me she didn't tell me do this or do this. She said, think about your life 3 months from now. What's it going to be like? What do you think it's going to be like if you're still at your job? What do you think it's going to be like if you leave your job? Yeah. They said, do that for 6 months, do that for 1 year, do that for 3 years. Sit down, really, really picture it. I pictured a life where I don't have to go to a 9 to 5. I really desired to fly across the country, many times to speak, to teach, do all that stuff. And immediately I knew I had to leave my job. Not because I hated the job, but because these two things do not gel. If I don't leave the job, I can't do this thing that I want. Of course, flying did not happen for another maybe 1 year.
While you were painting the picture, was there any scenario that was like hunger?
No, I think I was very optimistic. I was optimistic to the point that I was not even considering reality. So in the part of hunger, I experienced it. I didn't envision it. But I experienced it somewhere along the way, but I didn't envision it. I didn't think I just wanted to travel. Yeah. And like this year, I've traveled, I've flown like 30 times this year.
When? God. Oh, please. God. When?
Good. Wait. I've flown like 30 times this year, internationally, locally. And I started counting because, of course, it's just a flight, right? It's nothing. But I started counting because I remember the time when I could, it was not an option. Yeah. You get like this. I was not even thinking flight. It was like, where is God is good, Flight, Libra. No, and that time flight was 25K. It's not even now that
I said the not let me to enjoy 25K to not get off. Because shortly, like maybe 1 year after I started flying, like on it.
I was just going up. So yeah, now I just think about those times. I'm like, okay, we've made progress. I'm not where I want to be, but the fact that if I want to go to Lagos, or I want to go to Abuja, I want to go to Uyo, I don't have to stop and be like, how I go run out, it just doesn't count. One of the people, though, that I'm super grateful for is my former manager. Because it was at that time when I met him and I said, bro, I'm planning to leave my job. Here's what I'm trying to build. It's a little weird. He had experience managing artists, like musical artists. I'm like, I'm not an artist. I don't know what this is, but I think there's something here. I want you to manage me because I'm not good at business. You are good at business, but me, I just want to make videos. But if I do that, I won't be profitable and I'm about to leave my job. This is no longer a hobby. So he says, he'll think about it. After I finished thinking about it, he came back to me like 3 weeks later, came with a contract. I'm like, we be guys now. Why you need me contract? But that's how I knew that he was the right person. Somebody who was very, very, on the business about it. So Daniel was like, he became like my compass, right? So at that time, one day he just woke up and said, we're going to take class in Lagos. At this time, I was living in Abuja. So he just says, Salem, we're going to do a class in Lagos. This is what we're going to teach. We're going to teach personal branding. We're going to teach content strategy. We're going to teach creative storytelling. Put something together, put some slides together. We're going to go to Lagos. At this time, in my mind, even Abuja, I didn't think I could do stuff like that. And we went and we did the class. To be very honest, between paying for our flights, where to crash, we didn't even pay hotel. We had to sleep with a friend. Like, we had to crash at a friend's place.
No.
But between paying flights, paying for the hall, paying for food, snacks, and everything for the class, we literally came back to Abuja with 0 naira. But something in my mind had opened. Something had broken. I'm just like, what? So I can expand up. I can advertise something, 20 people pay. I fly, teach them, and come back, and everybody's happy. Like, nobody feels like, you've cheated me. Yeah. It's like, what? So how do I do this for 50 people? How do I do this for 100 people? How do I, because that's when I now learned that no matter how small or big your audience is, there's a small percentage that's willing to part with money. And as you continue to give, content for free, give value for free, the people who want more and are willing to pay, they will pay somebody else. If you don't have something for them to pay for, they will pay somebody else because they would have gotten the appetizer from you. It's like, oh, Joseph, so nice. Thank you.
I got value. That's the word.
Genius. I got value. That's amazing. Now I want more, but you don't get.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go to somebody else.
They're going to swipe up
that has it. Which is why, like, people have multi-ticket, multi-level, stuff. They have stuff for $5, stuff for 500, because there's different kinds of people. So that's stuff that I had to learn over the way.
How long did it take you to figure this out between when you quit your job and when this like finally?
Maybe a year. And that year was a year that was spent like just interacting with people to get like my followers, my audience. You know how I feel about my community. A lot of the time, that thing is not fake. Like, I'm not faking it like, oh, I love my community. No, it's like, these people have actually helped my life.
Yes, true.
Because the access I have to 150,000 people who are very willing to talk to me is I have access to free research. So if there's anything I want to find out about now, I have 100 people. Actually, that's just minimum. But like, I have hundreds of people, thousands of people who are willing to talk about that thing. And I immediately know what's in the mind of people within a certain age group, within a certain profession. It's free research. So I don't take it, I don't play with it at all. Like, that's why I post on my stories, for example, a lot, because people reply, and replies go to your DM. You talk to them, you know what's on their mind, you know what they're worried about, you know what the problems are. It's also why I can't run out of content ideas, except problem finish, but problem really finish. So as long as problems continue to exist, there's always something to talk about. There's always someone that needs, to hear something. So yeah.
This content thing, was it like the first business kind of thing you ever wanted?
So I was going to, when you invited me on this show, I was going to ask you, bro, entrepreneurs connect. I don't be entrepreneur now. Seriously, I was going to ask, like, I don't be entrepreneur now. Because even now, I still don't feel like a business person. However, I have been forced to be a business person.
Yeah, you didn't revenue.
Exactly. So I've been forced. I wasn't, when I was in school, I just wanted to graduate. I just get a 9 to 5. All these people who are enterprising, I don't have stress with that. I just want somebody to tell me, this is what to do.
Yes.
Do it. I do it. They tell me, good job. They pay me my money. I go. That's just what I wanted. But I guess life had other plans. And initially, one of the ways that I ran away from the responsibility of being a business person was getting a manager, which worked out so well. But he moved to Canada, so we had to stop working together, time zones and everything. Then I got another manager, that didn't go so well. And I just had to figure out my business for myself. And it's been tough because it doesn't come naturally to me. But I've learned so much along the way. So now if I decide I want a manager again, I know exactly what I want them for. I'm not sacrificing my whole life at their feet. I know what, it's like what you were saying earlier about how even when you hire an editor, it's not because you can edit, it's because your time is valuable. So you know how to say yes. So that's what that experience has been like for me. So this is the first proper business I've had, and now I'm more eager than I was before to actually venture into other businesses with revenue that I have gotten from being an influencer and creator and stuff like that. I'm definitely open to it because just like I was telling you earlier, I also want to do businesses that don't require me to be front facing all the time. I think I enjoy what I do so much that I didn't think a day would come where it would be any kind of burden. Like if you had asked me 2 years ago, like what do you want to do? I would have been like, I want to be a content creator tonight. Yeah, I love it so much. Well, I didn't realize I don't know whether it's age or
sometimes it can be a chore.
Yeah. No, but for me it wasn't. Like people ask me. Last year, somebody asked me, Salem, how do you handle it when you feel like you want to give up? I'm like, I don't want to give up. I can't relate. No matter how, I've never felt like I want to give up. I love doing what I've actually never wanted to give up. Like, I don't know what to tell you. I really empathize, but I've never wanted to give up, So that's how much I loved it. But there are times where, you have to do some things behind the scenes. Regardless, I still deeply appreciate my community. I still love the opportunity I have to be able to interact with that many people one-on-one. But yeah.
So when you started out, were you always this bold?
Yes and no. I'm not bold in one-on-one interaction. I'm not great in one-on-one interactions, but in front of a crowd, I'm fine. I've always been fine, like even when I was a child.
Yeah. So when you're making your videos, the very first time making
videos is different.
Yeah.
With videos is different because I'm sitting with myself.
Yeah.
So I'll tell you something. So initially, when I wanted to make videos, I was trying to make videos the way normal people make videos. They memorize the script, or they set up, and then they just talk. I don't know how to do that thing. Till now, I cannot do it. Right? And well, what I had to do was, I figured, okay, I cannot memorize a script. Let me read each line separately. What I started doing is I would write my script on like a piece of paper, and then I'll keep it in front of my phone or my tripod.
Yeah.
And then I would basically read one line, and then after everything, I would join them together. So one thing that happened in that process was I found a very special way to channel a certain energy into my videos that is not who I am in real life.
Because this is chill setup.
Exactly, like I'm chill. But in my videos, it's like I'm another person. It's like a character.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I allowed my videos to be the thing that let my loud mind run wild. Because I'm not loud when I'm talking to people one-on-one. I'm just really quiet. I'm always in the corner. If I'm at an event, I'm just sitting in one place trying to not be noticed, But my videos was just me, the camera. Even till now, I don't like to shoot with another person in the room. Sometimes I have to tell my wife to please excuse me, make a yeah. Because it's almost like I have to become someone else, So I had to find a way, to do that. So I wasn't always bold, but when I'm alone with my camera, I can just unleash, which is true for a lot of introverts, to be very honest. A lot of the biggest pop stars are introverted, but when they're on stage, they're a whole other person. If you watch a Beyonce interview and a Beyonce performance, you think it's two different people. Like she's really soft-spoken, she's chill. On stage, she's fierce. So that's what it was for me. I don't have stage frights. I used to sing in choir. I've sang in choir since I was a child. So that one is not like, if I'm in front of 1,000 people or 10,000 people, it's all the same to me. I can talk, I can say anything I want to say. When you put me in front of one person, that's where the problem is.
Well, yeah, usually from 0 to 5K on Instagram.
Yeah.
What was it like?
It took less than a month. Well, to be fair, when I first started making content, I had 1,500 followers.
Mm-hmm.
And then I decided I want to make 30 videos in 30 days, which I did succeed, but I ended up making like 21. And the reason why I did succeed is not because I was not ready to do it.
Mm-hmm.
It's because my accounts grew so fast. Like I went from like a regular Instagram user, somebody who was getting hundreds of comments on a post. So I'm just like, they lost, let me chill. So around like day 15 or so, I started doing every other day instead of every day. So that period, I didn't have I only had tripod. I didn't have lights. I just borrowed my friend's ring light every day. My colleague in the office, so I'll tell her to bring it when she's coming to work. I'll take it. I'll use it in the nights.
Then bring it back.
Then I'll bring it back. I'll carry it to work the next day. So at some point, she was like, yeah, using this ring light is more than me. Just keep it. That's how I got my first ring light. That I used for like 2 years.
Wow.
And so that process, there was a lot to learn from that. It wasn't like none of the ideas were new. It was stuff that I had written to myself in my notes app that had been there for 3, 4, 5 years. And I just decided I wanted to share it to the world. Because like I told you, I've always been a curious person. I've always been somebody who's observing things beyond the surface. And even now, I still am that guy. That's how I come up with a lot of ideas. Even with the like sometimes funny content where I'm just talking about random stuff, I'm talking about things that everybody's seen. You get bored from a different perspective that makes you feel like, oh yeah, I felt like that yesterday, or this is related, type thing. So yeah, that journey was interesting. It was how I first knew that this thing that I have to say, people like it. And that year, like getting to 5K was very big deal. It was not.
We're all looking forward to 10K then. Like,
yeah.
When I get 10K, swipe up.
Yeah, swipe on guy. People used to celebrate. I think 100K is the new 10K now, because the way people just hit 100K is crazy, it's ridiculous. But that time, it was, because you couldn't go viral, right? It had to be your community or people sharing your post to their own community. There's no Instagram Reels tab where you can just blow up. Yeah. People didn't blow up, except people knew you from somewhere else, like movies or, So it was shocking to me initially. Then I'm like, okay, people like this, there's no where that came from. I'll continue.
Oh, wow. So you had like 0 to 5K.
Yeah.
Well, for your type of content, you're not the regular tataful person. Or do you go to Facebook often?
No.
Now, so they are like some creators on Facebook. Now what they did, literally, they take somebody else's video, then they put themselves by the side. And I also had this.
All those reaction videos.
They are not necessarily just reactors to the videos. Maybe they take an Apple Michael Robo's video or somebody okay sound, because of the rule that you have to post original content. So the original content, they put themselves anyways.
So that makes it original.
But your content, you like to have sense in the videos.
Yeah.
What role did like education and personal development play in that?
So like I was saying earlier about my parents, they encouraged us being inquisitive, and curious and all of that. So I felt like that's something that I need to keep representing at different points in my life. Do you understand? You said I like to have sense in the videos. So for me, it's not like, in this video, I need to make sense. It's just, I need to communicate an idea. How do I communicate in a way that people will remember for a long time? So that the next time they're in a real life situation and they need this knowledge, they don't have to rack their brains to bring it back. So that's how I think about it. And the way in which I decide to communicate it is influenced by how I have experienced knowledge being dished out in the past that helps me remember it. And so from other people that I listen to, other books that I read, I'm like, how did this person communicate that has made me remember this? Because I don't remember anything, unless it's very important. So how did this person communicate that made this just stick with me, that I didn't even have to read it over and over again? It just stopped. There's things that, of course, I have, because of how important it is, I have to read it over and over again because, but then with social media, you don't always have that luxury. Sometimes you only have somebody for 5 seconds. So how do you make an impact in that person's life? That person that just wanted to scroll, that wasn't looking for anything valuable, they just wanted to laugh or something. So I'm thinking, how do I meet that person where they are and plant something that stays with them? That determines how I communicate in my videos. So a lot of times I'll write a whole script, and when I'm done, I'm cutting stuff out, like just saying, I really like this thing, but what do I want them to remember? What's the central idea? So like when people, for example, post, I don't know, a 3 minutes, 5 minute video, sometimes I have problems with it. The rule I have is if it can be shorter, I will make it shorter. And when I say that, people often think I'm saying, oh, you have to only post short content. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying if it can be shorter, like if I watch your 5-minute video, at the end of it, I want to feel like,
You got 5 minutes.
yes, this had to be 5 minutes in order for it to make sense like this. All the context you had to offer, all the, I'm like, okay, yeah, that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Which is why I will watch a podcast. I've watched podcasts that's 3 hours long, right? And I don't complain. I sit through the whole thing and I don't feel like there's 1 minute of it that should have been cut out.
Yeah.
But there's times when I watch a 2-minute video and I'm like, I see all the ways that this video could have been 20 seconds and I cannot shake it off. So those are all the things that I'm considering when I'm making a video. I'm thinking, how do I allow this person to see themselves in what I'm talking about? And how do I get them to do that fast so that they remember for a long time?
So this happens to me a lot.
Yeah.
Do you have yourself looking at films, videos, content and stuff, and you're just taking note of things, and I'm like, why is the light position that way? This angle, this shot. So other people are enjoying the movie. I'm like seeing mad shots.
Yeah. Where that's normal. Yeah, so like because you're a content creator, it will be ruined for you. That's normal. My wife works in film, so like she spoils films for me. Like we'll be watching and I'll be like, oh, see that person is looking at the camera. I'm like, allow me now, I beg, please. I need to see it now. You can see. You start observing a lot of I'm like, I have an untrained eye. I want my eye to be untrained. Leave it like that. Let me just enjoy it. And I'm sure it's like that for music producers. They listen to a bit of music and they should just be enjoying like the rest of us. The rest of us are just dancing or just, that song is mad. But then they're like, this 808 bass drum in this part with the clickers and
Yes, me, I just want to enjoy music. Yeah. I was with this artist, so we were driving and she goes, I was listening to some popular song. And she goes, I don't like the way they mix the song.
You don't even know what the mix is. Yeah. So I think whatever we care about to some extent will be ruined for us. That's just how life is. It's the price you pay for caring.
Sure.
Yeah.
There's this video you made. I'm trying to remember exactly where it was old Salem. Was this Samsung using Salem then? Or was it, so the video is a letter from your friend. They're talking to your friend, but your friend does not want to tell you the truth, so I'm telling you the truth. Yeah. Because what you're doing is shit, and it's all good, but they can't tell you. So I'm telling you, what's the thought process behind that video?
Dear entrepreneurs, I'm here to speak on behalf of your friends. And by entrepreneurs, I mean creatives, artists, fashion designers, musicians, photographers, makeup artists, writers, bloggers, basically anything that isn't necessarily a day job or resume at the office kind of thing. Your friends have something to tell you, but they can't because it's too hard. So yeah, I'll do it. Here goes. It really helps when your stuff isn't crap. It really helps when your content or your product, it helps when your work doesn't suck. Here's what I mean. It's not fair that you put us, your friends, in a position where you expect us to repost your stuff and recommend you to other people because we want to protect the friendship. When in reality, we're actually ashamed of your stuff because it's crap. Your friend doesn't want to tell you, but she doesn't want to recommend you for that catering job because she has tasted your jollof rice. Her integrity is on the line here. Your rice tastes like potash. So that's what your friend said I should tell you, not me, your friends.
That is another piece of content that I had made a long time before I even started making videos. I don't know why I used to write stuff like that to myself, but
You mean like you literally wrote it?
yeah, it was in my notes app. My notes, like there's over 10,000 notes, like from just, I'm always taking notes, So that one for me, it was, first of all, I don't support the idea that because your friend does something, you have to buy from them, right? Which is controversial to Nigeria. I don't understand why it's controversial. But let's leave that one. That's one. This is even assuming your friend is good at it and everything. Because sometimes I'll see people saying a stranger will support you before your friend. I'm like, duh. That's what you want. You get like, that's what you want. You don't want. Nobody builds a successful business from their family and friends. You build it because they're strangers who have no sentimental attachment, but they find your product valuable and they keep coming back. That's how people make money. So I don't subscribe. I'm always not subscribed to the idea that because somebody is your friend or because I'm your friend, so you have to patronize me. No, you have agency.
Yeah.
So based on then there's that. Then there's now the fact that some friends are also not good at what they do. Do you understand? So it's weird. So cause now if you work, let's say you get a electrician, right, in the house to set up something for you and they finish doing the work is bad, you can change it for them.
Mm-hmm.
I give you that.
This is your friend now.
But if it's your friend, no. Are you ready? You get you go and you get vexed because this just be rubbish. But how do you tell them that you need rubbish? I'm not paying. You get when it's your friends. Yeah. Sometimes. So the point of that piece of content was like, it's easy to support somebody who's doing well. If you want to be supported, make sure that the thing you want people to support is of the highest quality to start with. Because there's sometimes people start a new Instagram page for a business you've not sold to any customer, you've not done anything, and same people should follow in the page. Why should they follow in the page? We are following to like based on the fact that okay, I'm a friend, I care about you, but ideally that's not how you want to gain followers, because at the end of the day, now I followed you, but I may not engage. I may not even see your post.
Yeah.
You want people who follow you because that's what they want to see. My closest friend does not watch my content because he's not a content person. It's foolishness for me to be mad at him that you are not supportive of my hustle. Do you understand? That's just not his life. We talk about other things. So it's important for you to be so good at what you're doing that a stranger recommends you. Don't now put that weight on your family and yourself. But that time, of course, I was a different person, so I just communicated it in the most brash way, like. But that's how it was. So even now, when people think I'm a little blunt, I'm like, if you see me from 2018, no, now we wouldn't see yourself. But yeah, that's where it came from, and that's what I was trying to achieve with that message, to encourage people to pursue excellence and to know that you have your business to grow your business is your responsibility. Yeah. You need to have a strategy for how to get people to know you, to like you, to trust you. Your family is not your target audience. It's taking a very long time for my family to get, my parents specifically, to get to a point where they see what I do as a real job. It took a while. You get, like I left my job, moved to social media. I was making more money, but to them it still wasn't. It's like, it's just where's your office? So it normally takes a while for them to start to recognize. Also, I mean, it's okay. You will not now pause your life because somebody does not understand. Well, sure, the main message of all of it was to pursue excellence. Everybody likes to support their friend that is doing well. But do you understand? It's so much easier.
My guy, where's my guy?
Exactly. You don't even have to beg for it. Like, it's them that farms you. If your song makes sense, people will post them. Even your friends. Let me know.
That felt like. No,
I'm not going down that road.
Oh, nice. So what does being a content creator mean to you?
I think for me, I'm a custodian of the hearts and minds of people, which is a very, very huge responsibility and like an important position. Because I have access to people's hearts. I have access to people's mind. I have the capacity to influence their buying decision. I have the capacity to make them feel happy or make them feel sad with the way in which I decide to communicate an idea. I think that's very powerful. So for me, that's the point I'm thinking about it as, like, I have a responsibility because of the access I have to the way somebody sees it. And that pushes me to even improve myself, because I'm like, how am I supposed to add to the people if I'm not adding to myself? Once you have a conversation, I mean, you know that content creator is not all I am, but I mean, people need to call you something, so I'm fine. Call me content creator, but like, when I go to bed at night, that's not really if you strip me of everything I have, that's not the label I would carry or take on. I prefer to think about myself as a teacher, as actually just a teacher, someone that guides other people, someone that shows other people who they are. And content is just a vehicle through which I do that. If Instagram disappeared and there's no more TikTok, I would do the same thing I'm doing now in other ways. It may be on the streets, it may be in schools, it may be as a school teacher, it may be as a lecturer, it may be as a coach somewhere, while still doing the same things, ultimately the same purpose. but the vehicle at this time in my life is content.
Do you think that the industry is saturated? I mean, there are a lot of creators rising every day. Is there still room for people who want to become creators?
100%. And I don't think the industry is saturated at all, because there's 200, we don't know the number, but there's 200 to 250 million people in Nigeria. How many on Instagram? Do you know any big creator that is based in Ilorin?
Okay.
Do you know any big content creator that's based in Plateau State? So for the most part, there are a lot of stories from those parts of Nigeria.
That's one of it.
And there's interesting things happening there every single day. Like if you travel to another part of the country, like I came from Uyo this morning. Me and my wife were taking a walk.
By the way, if you keep hearing say me and my wife, me and my wife, it's actually because
where's my ring?
I know we're married. Sorry, babe. I wanted to show you that. I don't realize. Oh my God.
But yeah, we were taking a walk in Uyo, and I noticed that pineapples are sold with like the stem. I grew up in Kaduna and in Abuja too. The pineapple is not sold in the stem, it's sold with the crown. You know that? It's sold with the crown. So I was asking her that why am I? I've never seen the stem of pineapple in my life. And she's like, oh, that's how they sell it. I'm like, why? It's ugly. She's like, oh, so that when you buy it, you can carry in this. Oh. I'm like, oh, I've never thought about that. In other places, when you buy pineapple, you put this and I love it. You know, so there's something like that if you don't travel, because she grew up in Uyo and she's like, that's how it's been. Me, I grew up in Kaduna. I said, I've never seen it in my life. So there's things like that social media is supposed to allow us to be able to access. It's like now, there's so much you know about American culture, and it's because of Hollywood.
Yeah.
It's because of music. Right? It's simply the process of them exporting their culture to us and us imbibing it. That's not happening with it's happening a little bit with Afrobeats and Nollywood, but I believe it can happen with content creators. So saturation, maybe there's a lot of people, you know, it has become more common, it has become more acceptable, but saturated, no, there's still many perspectives I haven't seen. I was saying the other day that I've not seen enough creators making content in native languages. Yeah, you know, and some people say this limiting. I'm like, yeah, but like, it's needed, it's necessary. You get like, one person starts, you can add subtitles to your video, and go from there.
People literally watch Korean movies.
People watch K-drama with subtitles. There's Nigerian people who are crazy. They're about K-drama, and they don't even speak English. So, like, what do you mean it's limiting? The K-drama now wake up and say, oh, we're reaching a global audience, now let's start speaking English. It's still their stuff. So I think creators need to be conscious of the fact that there's a higher global demand for our culture. I don't know if you've seen all those TikTok videos where like a proper American person is like, I want to go and try some Nigerian. They eat before and then go see, they'll try jollof, they'll say it's spicy, their face will turn red. You know, these things were not happening before. It was only happening when like you have a Nigerian friend and you go to your Nigerian friend's house, they will not ahead. But now there's people who just from the internet are like, I want to try Nigerian food, you know. And then there's somewhere in Philadelphia and they look for a Nigerian restaurant and eat rice and stew. So there is a global demand for our culture, and we need to know that as creators, you're also a custodian. YouTubers, we're seeing the rise of YouTubers like attracting a global audience. It's not just Nigeria anymore. So creators need to think like that. Like, it's not just Nigeria. Maybe Nigeria is saturated, but there's 7 billion people, bro, in the world. That'd be 8 billion. What's the number now? I don't know. It grows like 8 billion.
Exactly 7 billion.
Exactly. So there's so many countries, there's so many people to reach, there's so many corners of the world where you will not believe. If somebody had told us 20 years ago that like Afrobeats would be where it is now, that Rema would be touring in India, it was unheard of.
Chicken himself a little bit.
Even himself, no, and even if it was possible, you'd have thought it's somebody who's been in the industry for like 20 years or something like that.
You mean P Square?
Yeah. But it wasn't them. It was Rema from yesterday.
Before.
So, yeah. Arguable, but I mean, let's not get...
Yeah, you said it. No, it's the one that not.
I don't agree, like.
So, somebody wants to become a creator. What is the roadmap like?
It's different from person to person, but I would say the first thing you need to be intentional about is knowing how am I going to add value, right? And I know that we don't hear value die out the word, but how I like to define it in very simple words, value ultimately is anything people want to see and hear that people want to see, people need to hear, people want or need that they cannot do for themselves. That simple. So there's something I want, there's something I need that I can't get for myself or I don't want to get for myself.
Yeah.
For me, that's value. It's the reason why people, like you now, you might say, why will you spend money to pay for a comedy show? Why will you waste 30K to go and see basketball? For me, I'm paying 30K to go and see basketball because it's valuable. That's why I'm putting my hard-earned money. To you, maybe I'm serious. And then there's people who are paying for table, paying 1 million, 2 million, 5 million for the exact same show. Because to them, that's how valuable it is. So you need to first think, what can I offer people that they cannot offer themselves? And then that would then define, because this is you defining what do I have? Yeah. It will now then determine the how that you go about it. So there's different pathways. For some people, depending on what you're optimizing for, that's another big factor. Some people are optimizing to make money. Some people are optimizing for fame. Some people are optimizing for visibility for something else they do. So if you're like a model or a TV presenter, going on social media will make people know that you can do this thing. Or if you want to be an actor, Mr. Macaroni always wanted to be an actor, but he started making skits and now he's living his dream of being in Hollywood and everything. So you knowing what am I really optimizing for will now let you know, okay, which path you want to take. If you want to teach people, you want to be a coach, it determines which path you take. If you want to make money, you know that you would need to offer value in a very specific kind of way and try to build an audience that you can then sell to. In order to sell to them, you need to have something to sell. And for you to have that thing you want to sell, you need to have offered a free version of it, or to have, by yourself, a free version of it that you can give people over a period of time before you can then ask. And then the people who want to give more than, people who want more rather than the free you've been offering, can then pay for that. People can be influencers. Basically what that means is, you're capitalizing on the fact that you have access to the hearts and minds of some individuals, and you work with brands who want to reach those people, and those brands pay certain amounts to have access to your audience. And like I said, there's also people who want to throw more light on something outside of social media, like I said. So at the end of the day, offer people value, make sure that it's very clear, make sure that they're able to very clearly pinpoint, like, it shouldn't be hard to establish the connection between what you have to say and how it affects them. It should not be far, because people come on social media not because of you, they come for themselves, right? Like when you're waiting in line and you're just bored, you don't go because of any creator you care about. You go to solve your own boredom. Yeah. So that's how human beings are inherently selfish. So you need to think, how do I meet people where they are, like on their journey? How do I make sure that the person who's looking for a certain kind of message finds me and they think of me as a solution? In order for you to do that, you need to be thinking value first. How do I add someone else?
You've been making videos for years now. Have you hacked like the science to viral videos?
No, because I don't really care for viral videos.
Okay. Post a video and got just 50 views.
Yeah, I don't have any steps to get viral because I don't really care about the viral videos like that. Me, I believe that the aim of posting on social media shouldn't be to go viral. Going viral is a byproduct. Right? Me, I believe the primary aim is to serve a very specific audience and you value consistently. Yeah. If you go viral along the way, that's an add-on. And being viral is actually not always a good thing, right? I know somebody who had, if like one video go viral, it blew up, millions of views, millions of likes, a following increase, then just started reducing and background. And then sometimes you gather a lot of followers, your engagement is bad. Yeah. So it now looks like you're buying followers, but it's actually really nice. Yeah. Sometimes people ask me, say, what was the piece of content that you upload? And I'm like, I don't have any ones. Do you get, like, it's been different ones at different, like, it's been a steady growth. And I really appreciate that about my journey. Initially, it was something that I didn't like, because I was like, what, these people making rubbish are going viral. I want to go viral too, but I now appreciate it because, like, my community is very consolidated.
Yeah.
Right? Like, there's nobody that can easily leave. No, that sounds like the core.
Okay.
But, like, it's not like everybody who stays it almost seems like they made an intentional decision to be there. So I think I prefer that, and the experience that I've had over time. There are still people that can give you tips and tricks to go viral. Like, I'm not that guy.
So I think the right question, are there steps to making a great video?
Of course, that one for sure there is. So first of all, you need to be thinking, the steps are plenty. So before you get to the point of making a great video, there needs to be steps that determine what kind of creator you are in the first place. The first step in doing that is determining who your target audience is. And the reason why I use the word determine is people normally say discover, but I don't believe that it's something you should discover. It's something you should decide.
Yeah. So you decide make videos.
Yes, these are the people I want to reach.
Yeah.
Because if you use the word discover, it's like, it's just somewhere there, kind of like people looking for the one.
Yeah.
Maybe they're out there, maybe they're not out there, maybe I'll meet them one day, God will, type thing. But that's not what it is. This is within your power.
No.
Determine who your target audience is. And the thing is, you can change your mind. So it's not like you're stuck with whatever decision you make. You can't change your mind.
Yeah.
So determine your target audience. Find out what are their problems. What are their problems and frustrations? So for example, if you say my target audience is people between 18 to 25 who go to private universities, when you're thinking about their problems, you need to ask, when somebody in those shoes wakes up every morning, what are they thinking about? What's on their mind? What's bugging them? Why is this important? Because you're only as valuable as your understanding of the problems that you seek to solve. The difference between the people that get paid the big bucks and everybody else is they understand the problems even more than the people that have the problems. There's nobody who has lived in your body longer than you, right? But when you go to the hospital and the doctor says this is what's wrong with you, you believe, even though he just checked you for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, because he understands physiology, human anatomy better than you, even though you know your body more than the doctor. You get? So, as someone wants to be a creator, you need to know who your audience is, understand what are their problems, and then 3, find a bridge between problems that exist and the things you want. One question I get a lot is people saying, how do I make content? How do I make the content I like? How do I reach out to an audience while staying true to what I like? Yeah. And I'm like, it doesn't have to be 2 different things. If you do the homework of identifying problems, you can now trace your own expertise to certain problems. So you know that, okay, this group of people, they have plenty of problems. It's not all I can solve. Yeah. But based on my education, based on my exposure, based on my expertise, based on my experiences, based on my passion, these are the problems that I am best suited to solve. Those are the things you will now talk about. After you have already done, before we can now get to the point of making great videos, making a great video, because who are you even making it for? Yeah. Right. So now, to the point of making a great video, the steps involved is 1, you need to ask yourself, how do I make this relatable? So how do I make sure that once somebody watches this, they can immediately see themselves in the story? So it's not about you. It may be by you, but it's not about you. That's the reason why in this podcast now, some of the questions you're asking is not because you need answers to those questions. You already have the answers. But these answers is for the audience. Yes. So it needs to be relatable. So it has to be easily applicable. That means they shouldn't have to struggle to find the connection between what you're saying and a point in their life where it connects. So it needs to be easily applicable. And this is not just for teaching content. This applies to everything, whether you're making makeup, fashion, anything. Number 3, it has to be memorable. Now, of course, creating memorable content means you need to increase your storytelling skills. There's so many things you're going to have to learn. You need to understand human psychology, what makes people make certain decisions, what makes somebody click, at what point. there's certain videos where they will say like, share, and comment, and there's certain videos where they don't have to tell you anything. The effect is inside the content.
Yes.
You will comment, you will share, you will like, you will tell your friend about what you have just seen. And they did not mention like or share at any point. So those are all things that can be engineered into the DNA of a piece of content when it is memorable and the story is well told. Finally, it must be portable, which is related to what I said earlier, that if it can be shorter, make it shorter. She gets. So this is now where editing comes in, because you need to take human forgetfulness into account, and the fact that there's a million videos people have access to every day. So a lot of times you only have somebody's 2 seconds. So you need to say what you want to say quickly. I had a client I was working with one time. I should say, your generation, you don't like to read. People don't like to read anymore. Because I was trying to make a case for her, making short form content. And I'm like, ma, you have to meet them where they are. Then you can now take them. But she was making this Instagram post long, like newsletter. And I'm like, look, have your newsletter, but give people on Instagram a small taste. Then the people that want more, we go to your newsletter, and then anybody that is there, you have them. But don't try to now force it down everybody's throat. And then I think it goes without saying that your videos need to be well lit. If you don't have lights, don't feel like you need to have lights. If you don't have lights, open your window and sit in front of your window. Any natural lights, any place with natural lights coming inside is normally bright enough, right? And early stages of your journey, you'll be surprised how much quality can be forgiven when the content is good.
True.
When the story is well told. Some of the most viral videos on YouTube shows, if you see the quality, it's trash. And some of the funniest videos, a lot of times, the quality is not always the best, but it's really about what's inside the video. People can normally forgive quality. So I think you should aim for quality, but it's not the end of the world when you don't have it. What you should focus on is storytelling, because guess what? All the people who wait for light cameras before they do what they need to do is gathering dust. You know, go use them. Do you understand? Or you will have all those things and you don't know how to use it. So if you haven't figured out how to take photographs with your phone, you haven't learned about composition, you haven't learned about lighting, you haven't learned about how to use light and all that with your phone, you don't have a business buying a camera. What do you know you're going to do with the camera? Do with your phone. If you don't have phone, borrow your friend's phone.
You're using literally full of excuses.
So use what you have access to. When I say use what you have, I don't just mean what you have, because sometimes you don't have anything. I mean use what you have and what you have access to. Yeah.
That makes sense.
Like drop.
Literally. How do you measure success?
That's a good question. I think one of the ways I measure success is freedom. I think it will be financial freedom, but I'm not there yet. I do have a significant, livable amount of freedom, but success to me would be, I already have time freedom, so I feel very successful. I was telling you earlier, I'm very content, so I feel wealthy in a lot of ways, but ultimate financial freedom, and I think geographical freedom.
True.
Yeah, you ask this question to somebody born in the US, they probably will not have the same answer. But I'm born in third world Nigeria, so it's a big deal,
Yeah, for geography.
Yeah, it's a big deal. Well, ultimately, it's just, being able to enjoy doing little things, finding joy in, the sound of birds, which they don't have in Lagos because there's no trees.
Anywhere there's violence against Lagos, call me. I'm there.
Yeah, but
What does it feel like to be married? And you're preparing us every day now.
what does what?
How does it feel like to be married? You're preparing us every day now.
Bros,
You're married, no? 30 lessons in my first 30 days of marriage.
oh my gosh. It's lovely, man. Like, I've been married for 3 months now, and it feels like it's been 2 days, you know. So it's like the time is not passing, or it's like a lot of time has passed, but also like not a lot of time has passed. And I just look forward to the journey ahead.
Yeah.
You know, when people ask me questions about marriage, you're the first person I'm actually answering. Recently, somebody invited me, you know, to come on the podcast and talk about it. I'm like, nope, not interested. I'm not talking about that yet. But yeah, it's been an amazing experience. I don't want to say highly recommend because not everybody's serious in life. I'm married in this serious business. Yeah. But it's been great. You know, you know all those things that people say about how marriage is hard. Marriage, you know, I cannot relate. It's wonderful. There's, of course, any kind of relationship is hard because you have to put work into it. But that's work that I've been prepared to do for a very long time, you know, in my life. So I love it. The only thing I don't love about marriage is the fact that I'm not here with my wife.
Oh, God, that day. Do you ever wake up, man, and look at your friend like own yourselves?
Well, even this morning, you know, just like, I don't deserve it. Yeah, even when she was taking me to the airport, I was still considering that. They'll just say, bro, I don't feel that. Let's postpone. Let's cancel. Yeah.
So you like recommend for your guests?
I can't recommend like anything for my guys. Of course, my guys are Sunny guys now. Yeah, Sunny guy now. They're responsible.
I remember you telling me also, hey, you see, you guys been there. I felt like cute.
I was the interest.
Oh, you pushing me that. I will come like a storm.
I can't wait.
I will enter your dinner.
I can't wait. Me and my wife will come.
See this, my wife. I'm talking to my younger brother already, and bro, it was his birthday. Like, bro, you should be 30 before you know it's 30 o'clock. Guess this guy's answer. Like, I'm a settled man in life. I'm married. I will soon have a child. You know, I can't say the same thing about you.
No, but what did he lie?
No blow.
No, son. What did he lie?
Don't have settled.
It's not about look. It's not about the look of things. You get there's a way that semen right onto him, man.
Fair point. Fair enough. Don't worry. On later episodes of this podcast, you often see me do like this. So, like I was saying, finally, right? When people watch podcasts like this, I started doing this recently. People tend to have like a perfect imagination of people on sets.
Yeah.
Salem's life is street. He had everything figured out. And no, well, I think that kind of denies the human element because not every one of us has everything figured out. I myself, I'm still trying to figure a lot of things out.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask, what are you trying to figure out that you can share publicly?
How to stop procrastinating.
When I didn't figure out that, you will wait till someone.
I think it's a daily struggle. I think it's kind of like the thing with imposter syndrome. You know how people talk about imposter syndrome? I mean, I believe it's something that just never goes away. Because like I've spoken to some you speak to, I mean, even you speak to some people who are like incredibly successful. Like you hear about their excuses and you name it, you know, and
I can relate.
Yeah, like
my mentor was on set. They feeded him. And he says, I said, what I said? He said, I'm still trying to work harder.
What are you saying? Like, you're literally like, what's wrong with you? So, I mean, I think that's how sometimes it's a struggle. Sometimes I'm winning and just getting, things done regardless. I like to say it's a miracle that I'm able to make content at all. Because like, it's an internal battle, sometimes I just want to, I'm introverted, right? I don't enjoy having to talk to hundreds of people every day. I see the purpose in it and I love that, but sometimes it's just hard. But life is about like doing hard things, So yeah, that's still a struggle for me. So if you are still procrastinating, just know that you're not
we're in this together.
Yeah, but we're doing what we need to do anyway. When were we supposed to shoot this episode? Well, like last year.
months ago.
Exactly. So, well, it's not just procrastination, it's also like our schedules that everything.
True.
But, you know, at the end of the day, we still find ways to do what needs to be.
But he's not running his ads. So people just tell them to run ads. Turn on your ad.
I'll call to him.
Fund it.
Yes, sir. Love it.
Don't people want to buy Salem's programs? People want.
Yeah, it's actually not life changing.
So, I guess that's it basically.
Thank you for having me. This was fun. I was hoping, you know, God ask me, you know, so what was your balance sheet for last year or some very businessy.
I try to adapt episodes to. I really adapt every episode to the present. So the thing about entrepreneurship is that not everybody will be the numbers person. You know, in fact, there are different niches. I try to think of creative people from. Creative entrepreneur, literally.
To be honest, I think it's creative people that try to take themselves out, not to know other people. Yeah, it's like me too. I used to be very afraid of numbers, but now I'm just like, nah. Where they check it for that?
Where they check everything dashboard?
Yes, now every week they will even send me notification that check your analytics.
They check your revenue.
Thank you for the dragging.
All right, guys. That's it for this episode, basically. Thank you for tuning in, and I'm going to see you in the next episode. Meanwhile, you have to point the camera to Salem now, and I'm going to ask him to tell them to subscribe. Look at he's making videos. But so tell them to subscribe to the channel, by the way.
Like and subscribe for more.
What should I say? I don't feel convincing.
What should I say?
Tell them to subscribe to the channel.
Okay.
Just them subscribe.
So, Joseph Don has just put me at gunpoint to tell you to subscribe to the channel. But the more you subscribe, the more we're able to bring quality guests to the show.
You know.
So subscribe. Maybe me too. I'll even come back again. Subscribe.
Exactly. All right. Take care of yourself and have a lovely day ahead.